Good morning, everyone. 1 2 1 2. Just checking because I hadn't checked my microphone there before I started. It all looks good. How are you today? It's Friday, the most important day of next week. Look at that. Again, here we are, Friday. How it flies around. Friday, the most important day of next week. Just thought I'd say it again, just for good measure. What you do today will influence how next week is. Friday, the 1st of October. Oh, I'm a bit sniffly because I've been out with the dog in the cold. I'm in reflective mode today and a little bit ranty. I make no apology, but there it is. Um, why am I in reflective mode? Well, I think I'm in reflective mode because it's Friday. Do you not find you're in reflective mode on a Friday? Because you're thinking about the week that's gone and the week that's coming ahead. Well, if you are making Friday the most important day of next week, of course. So yeah, so it's just reflective of the week, and I'm interested to see for me how the day pans out because earlier in the week I was talking about peaks and troughs, and I've got a bit of a trough today, which is nice because I haven't had a trough for a while. Start term and that's been busy, so it's been a few weeks since I've had a trough since coming back to work after the summer holiday. It's been and I've been doing a lot of presentations, freelance presentations. So I've got a trough today, so it'll be interesting, won't it, whether I take my own medicine and whether or not I make use of this trough to iron out some of the peaks of next week. I will. I'm sure I will. But I might waste a little bit of time. But that's good sometimes, isn't it? Isn't that nice sometimes to do that? But why am I reflective and ranty? Well, there's a couple of things that have really piqued me this week, and one of them was this morning, and this is kind of less of a productivity self-care thing and just more of a bit of an analysis, I suppose one of the values that underpins why I do this work, this stuff, because I don't really say it like work, but why I do this stuff and these presentations around self-care is because I think I want to be part of this some sort of solution, um, to what we are all going through. And when I say all going through, I don't mean the pandemic. I just mean this absolutely messed up world that we now live in. We live in societies, don't we now? Probably me and the people I'm talking to largely here. We live in societies that are meant to be, and I'm using these words, I'm using them kind of because these are the words that get used. Not that I agree with them particularly, but we're advanced, civilized, first world, all of those kind of things, aren't we? And other countries are less developed and third world and all that kind of thing. Yet here we are in a sea of opportunity, struggling with well-being, mental health, in a world where we have at our disposal whatever we want to eat. We choose to eat badly. We have so many opportunities to exercise. We choose not to. You know what I mean? All these kind of things that we have at our disposal. This is what's been frustrating me. And what frustrated me even more this morning was reading in the Guardian about the levels of mental health problems in young people from age 6, from age 6 to I think it said 14, and 6-year-olds reporting that they're feeling unhappy. Wait, at 6, these kind of concepts shouldn't even be in your vocabulary, should they? You know what I mean? You should be running about outside and climbing trees and just generally, having the time of it and being called in for tea and all those kind of things. Am I looking through rose-coloured spectacles here? I don't know, but I just think, and one of the things that I contemplated as I read this horrible, horrific article about this issue was whose fault is all that? And it suddenly dawned on me, it's people like me. We have allowed. I'm in my 50s. We've allowed the world that we inhabit to become like this. We've allowed um, capitalism to run rampant. I'm going to move on from this shortly, don't worry. We've allowed capitalism to run rampant, but worse than that, we've all bought in to the fact that to the situation that consumerism, um, is a really good thing. We can have what we want whenever we want. So we're all panicking because there might not be any fuel. Do you know what I mean? we're all panicking because there might not be any. We're already panicking in the paper again today. We're already panicking because, whoa, Christmas might be ruined. Well, what do we mean by Christmas might be ruined? Anyway, I'm going to stop. But I think there's something about the fact that the older end of the spectrum, we've created this world, we've allowed it to happen. This rise of self, the importance of the individual, and it's a bit of a dichotomy for this for me, because I do believe in self responsibility, um, but equally not that self is everything. Not that idea of self becoming selfish, because that's where that leads us down a path of thinking, if I'm the most important thing in the world, and I think again, consumerism and capitalism, advertising, and all that kind of leads us down the path of, well, life should be easy, surely, for me. Everything should be all right for me because I'm the most important thing in the world. And I think we've permeated that through society. Anyway, that's why I suppose that's why I want to. That's why I feel. I think if I peel back the layers to get to the basic value, because values drive us, don't they? Of why I do a lot of the stuff that I do around self-care and resilience, and productivity, and workflow, and strategizing life to get the best life and stuff. Why I do all that, I suppose, ultimately is that to be part of some sort of solution to this hideous problem that we've created, probably rooted in the 60s. I imagine that's when all of these ideas of self started to come to the fore. And I don't think that people in the 60s, largely white men to be fair, I don't think the people in the 60s thought that this was where we would end up, but it is. It's a strange one. And the other thing that annoyed me earlier in the week was, I picked up an article from the Irish Times which said, we don't need resilience and mindfulness. We need more money for, or something like that anyway. And then listed, I think it was an NHS kind of focused article. We need more money for all of these things. And I was like, well, why does it have to be one or the other? Why can we not have both? Why can we not have more money for important services, more money for social care, more money for the NHS, more money in schools, and also be resilient and use mindfulness? Why can't we have both? But again, that's part of this puzzle of this world we live in, isn't it? And I think we've got to this point where everything's polarized, Um, and I'm not naive enough that when I do the presentation to do around resilience and productivity and self-care, to know that it's not it's not a silver bullet, it's not a catch-all, it doesn't fix all the problems of underfunding and all that kind of stuff. It doesn't fix all of those problems, but it's something that we can do so we feel a little more in control of what's going on around us, rather than being I was thinking of this as well while I was walking the dog, rather than being buffeted by what's happening in the moment, buffeted by you know uh, media drivers. At least if we take some responsibility for ourselves, I suppose, how we approach things, set positive approach goals to the things we do, at least then we feel some level of control over some things. And I think this week probably, I think this week probably the whole the thing about fuel is really interesting, because I think we've been buffeted by the media with this as well, and I think people have just maybe gone out desperate to fill their cars up, rather than thinking, well, do I really need um, do I really need more fuel? Can I wait? Can I be patient? Can I go to a quiet time of day? I don't think we do. I don't want this to sound critical, because it's not critical, I suppose. But of course, I genuinely think it's a mindset that has been created in us by these external drivers, like media, like the way government is at the moment. Those kind of things. So anyway, stay well, but look for the things you can control. Finish with some Stoic philosophy, Stephen. Do that. Look for the things you can control. And the Stoic philosophers say we can control some things, we can't control other things, and we have to set our happiness on the things we can control. So what can you control? You can control um, what you eat, how you exercise, how you approach things, how you organize yourself. You can control all of those things, and it gives you a bit of an anchor, gives you a bit of a foundation in a world that's kind of, I think, adrift, or certainly the world that we've created in countries like ours. We're a bit adrift of this inner self kind of idea, this personal settledness, instead of being driven by an internal personal settledness, an intrinsic motivator. We're buffeted by all of these external things, aren't we? Anyway, I don't know how much of that's useful or how much of that is about. It's actually about self-care and productivity. I suppose it is. I suppose it's about self-care. It's about kind of acknowledging what you can do and doing as much as you can as often as you can, I suppose, um, rather than being buffeted by the world out there. So yeah, that's me. That's Friday. Ranty, reflecty Friday. Um, let's see how the day goes. I haven't had any breakfast yet, so I'm going to go off and do that. Maybe I'm hungry. Maybe that's what I am. Maybe I had no breakfast yet, so maybe I'm hungry. I love that word, hungry. Anyway, off we go. Have good Fridays. Remember to sort your stuff out for next week, and then you'll have good weekends and rest and recover ready for next week, and have good next weeks as well. But I'll catch up with you next week. So good to talk to you. Well, at you, really. Good to talk at you, I suppose. It's one of those ones. Take care. Have good Fridays and good weekends, and we'll see you next week.